welcome to the Noted Podcast. I, your host, Daniel, and your other host, Eric.
Hello.
And today we're going to be reviewing, as you saw from the title, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Blah, 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 blah. Because it came to Disney Plus, and I wasn't going to go see it in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters a couple months ago, and I enjoyed it. There's definitely some cheese in this script. We're gonna jump right in. And and there's some things I don't absolutely love. I would have liked this movie to be rated R. I'm gonna start with that.
I agree. It would have been better.
I definitely think so. But that being said, this movie did a lot that broke the mold for Marvel movies.
They just made it gory. That's all
That
they
I
did.
enjoyed. Well, and they made it gory and it had like a horror kind of feel to it, and it was darker.
They had like 2 or 3 jump scares in it.
Well, yeah.
That were like actually good jump scares.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then like it was the way they did it is technically so when Wanda fights all the Vision bots in the other universe, she walks into the room covered in
all the Ultron.
Oil. Yeah, she's covered
Yeah.
in motor oil, but they make it look purposely like she's covered in blood, which
Yeah.
I loved. And like when so getting a little ahead of myself, but there's obviously multiverse of madness. There's multiple universes. One of the universes they go to is has the Illuminati and John Konkritsky, Jim from The Office.
John Krasinski.
Thank you.
Granoli.
And Cannoli, some Italian name. He's Mr. Fantastic, and she literally like, how does she kill him again?
Turns him into string cheese,
which I loved. And then she blows up like the there's another dude. It's like what is it? Black
Thunder something.
Yeah, and his
or Black
power.
Adam, something like. No, it's not Black Adam.
It's not Black Adam.
It's Thunder something.
Yeah, but his power is the moment you hear his voice, you die.
Yeah,
and
it's like a sonic boom.
He can kill anyone with his voice. Yeah, and so he's about to scream at her and kill her, and she removes his mouth, and he kills himself, which is so cool. And it was super like for Marvel standards, that was pretty gory, and it looked so cool. And I liked it. I don't know. I like you could tell Sam Raimi directed it, and I enjoyed that aspect of it, because I kind of got annoyed of every Marvel movie
being an iteration of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, not just Thor Ragnarok. I mean, they've all been mimicking each other before Thor Ragnarok. I mean, they've continued to do it more so, but they've always kind of copied each other and pulled their punches and been not very like oh yeah, all this fighting's happening and all of this really destructive stuff's happening, but everyone walks out with only a couple scratches. You know what I mean? Like, how are you not having like super like gory battles? How are you not losing limbs? Like, how is this not happening? And this was like, it finally gave it to us, which I enjoyed.
That's why Winter Soldier's the best one. Because there's no superpowers. It's just spies.
Well, they have superpowers. There's 2 super soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
there's no superpowers.
There's superpowers. Captain America and Winter Soldier have superpowers.
Yeah, but they're not like superpowers.
Yeah, they're like on the low end
human
of the
enhancements.
Spectrum. Yeah.
So you can't get your arm lasered off. If anything, it just gets broken.
Yeah. I wish, because when they announced this, it was right after Fox was bought out by Disney, and there was a lot of talk about making this rated R because they were going to make Deadpool rated R, and they were like going to do a whole like MCU side as rated R, but they decided not to, which I kind of wish they would have. But that's
Yeah,
probably
I don't think that they ever will make a rated R movie. I think that they'll push the line so far that it should be rated R, but they'll just bend the rules to where it isn't, because that's what
I
Disney do.
I think they will make one rated R movie, and that's going to be Deadpool. And I think outside of that, they're not going to do anything else rated R. I think Deadpool is going to be the one exception, just because it's already a known franchise in that's made that's super successful, and they can make money off of it, and everyone wants it to be rated. Like it's not like they're starting something new as rated R or taking something from PG-13 and making it rated R. It's
Yeah.
established as rated R. So I think that's why they might do it because it's like it's an easier pill to swallow for audiences, and it's not like Disney's rated R. It's like here's this established franchise, and we just happen to own it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But off topic, tangenting. So, what's your thoughts of this movie? What's your initial thoughts? Because that's kind of the biggest thing I liked was the fact this movie definitely pushed the boundaries of what the Marvel movies have been.
Okay, so I I thought it had a good premise, and I thought that it was like a good idea
Mm-hmm.
of it all, and I
Mm-hmm.
really liked the thought of like I liked I'll say this. I liked the concept of it, but the thing that I didn't like about it is that, and I think this ties into what we're also going to be podcasting about later. Um it's the sense of like villain stories and stuff. Um it's been like since WandaVision, it's been hinted that she's going to go nutsos, right?
Yeah, it was kind of hinted at the end of WandaVision
That
and during
now she has
WandaVision.
the dark hold,
Yeah,
and like she's gonna become the Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch. The most like the single-handed being that can destroy everything and anything that she wants. Like she
literally
is
warp reality.
OP. She is
Hmm.
God
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
And they won off her. And I know that's just like a Disney thing cuz they did that with Ultron,
which
but they
sucked.
they won off the Scarlet Witch and made it just because she didn't have children. And I thought that WandaVision was about that. I thought WandaVision was her getting not like getting over the fact that she didn't have kids, but like the fact that she couldn't have them. I thought that that wrapped up in WandaVision was like she can't have the reality she wants, so she'll create her own, but then she just goes and steals other Wandas. Like
Kids.
it made me like it just made me go like you're going to make the most like overpowered like badass witch in Marvel history. Like if essentially like destroy herself, because after they destroy the Darkhold and she has like a couple punches to the face by a child, she's like, "Ah, you're right. I'll destroy myself." And then just brings down a building on herself.
Yeah,
And
I
it's just kind of, it made me sad because Wanda is like awesome, and they made her a villain and killed her in the same movie in a
I don't.
matter of an hour and eight.
Did she
We can
die?
speculate that she's alive because it's Marvel. They don't kill anybody.
Yeah,
But
and
we did not see her after she brings the building down on herself.
yeah, I just assumed they cut away just to cut away. I assume she survived
Yeah,
because I
I
feel like
assume
she
that
could.
she's alive and they'll
Yeah,
rewrite her into
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
in that moment, like for all we know, they killed her. If we take out like assumptions, which is what movie watching is now, is just assuming how they're going to bring somebody back. Like that's just watching a Marvel movie. is like, oh, well,
Oh,
how are they going to tie
I
this into other things? It's
I
like,
can't wait until I make my own TV show and everyone's dying and no one's coming back. You can.
exactly, when death is actually meaningful.
Ugh. I've ranted about this all the time, and I'm gonna like Game of Thrones is gonna look like a fucking child's dream to me.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But like I think that's the thing that I hated the most was that it's just like,
Disrespectful to the character.
yeah, it's like she's a badass and we've seen her grow and like
Yeah,
overcome so many things from like Civil War, or not Civil War,
well,
sorry,
since
Age of
Ultron
Ultron.
when she was
Yeah,
introduced, yeah,
Ultron. And then
I
we
I
just see
agree.
her get like one off killed. And then not only that, but like the part where Doctor Strange is like the zombie part.
Zombie Strange,
Yeah, and he like controls the demons.
yeah.
And then
Oh, I thought that was so cool.
it was pretty cool. I just hated the fact that when Wanda went into the other universe and he was just like, give it a second. Like let the kids deal the emotional damage before we beat her.
He's like
Like
the
just give it a minute. What
let
if
the
she killed the
emotional
children?
let the emotional trauma win. Is-
Yeah.
Well, and you could make the argument though. You can make the argument that he knew he couldn't beat her,
Well, of course. No one can beat
and
her.
he knew that
That's
if
the
there were
point.
a way to win, it would be through that
Through emotional damage. I can completely agree. Like let her
emotional
destroy
damage.
emotional damage. But no, like I understand the premise of like let the strongest character that cannot be defeated
It's like
defeat.
in Legend of
Let,
Korra when they season one when they wrote out Among.
yeah, no,
They did
exactly.
that
It's
man
like,
dirty.
yeah, and like in Naruto, like you can't kill Madara, so Madara turns into a space alien.
Yep, he
Makes
turns
sense.
into Kaguya,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you can't
and
kill
we
the most
wrote a
powerful
plot.
thing, we'll just have them kill themselves.
Yep,
Which
and right in a plot convenient reason that they can be
yeah,
beaten now.
and it's just so stupid because instead of
It's poor
like
writing. I
why
can agree
why
with you.
would you kill her, like, or you just destroy the Darkhold, like that universe Darkhold, and then she's like comes out of a trance. I feel like that would have been way better to say like the Darkhold had like some type of, like she'd been reading it for
Like
too
mind
long.
control power.
Exactly, and she, well, not even like mind control, but she just got like consumed by the Darkhold kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and,
Because that's
and
what
they kind
happened
of
that's what
and
happened
they
to Doctor Strange. He
yeah, and
got
they kind of
consumed
hint
by the
that that's what
Darkhold and he
happens.
turned evil.
Yeah, and they
But
hint that's what happens. The Darkhold consumes you.
yeah, but like it didn't look like that for Wanda, cuz like she had made the choices of like becoming the Scarlet Witch, and that is like the Darkhold allows her to become the Scarlet Witch. So she like embodies the Darkhold, right?
Yeah,
And so like to break that, I feel like that would be like, oh, well, now she's back to Wanda kind of because she doesn't have the power of the Darkhold anymore. And then her still being an absolute badass can just go through all the other dimensions and destroy all the other ones to save all her other
yeah.
versions of herself.
Because it from my
Other than that,
understanding, it's
I
not the
liked it.
Darkhold that directly gives her power. It's she's powerful already. The Darkhold is just the funnel she uses.
Yeah, the Darkhold is just text. It's just ancient text and things that she didn't know about. It's just,
Yeah,
but that also is power.
the the power of the Darkhold.
Knowledge is
Yeah,
power kind of thing.
yeah. I can definitely agree with you there.
Wanda's just my
I
favorite.
I liked Wanda a lot, and while I was watching it, I didn't think of WandaVision one bit really. I mean, with the kids, I did, and I
Yeah.
was a little confused, but I just chose to put on my movie blinders to enjoy the movie. But
Yeah.
then afterwards, thinking about it critically, I do agree that it does kind of undo all of WandaVision because at the end of WandaVision, the big emotional payoff is she lets go of Vision, she lets go of
Mhm.
her kids, she acknowledges the fact that she was becoming a bad guy, that she was keeping all of these people hostage against her will. She acknowledged the fact that even though she loves her husband and loves her kids, she
she
can't
can't have them anymore.
she can't justify hurting others. Key.
Exactly.
She can't justify hurting others to get them. And she defeats what's her name? The witch character in WandaVision.
Agnes.
Yeah. She defeats her and she
I
wins
think
and
her
she
name's
gets
Agnes.
and she beats her using her Scarlet Witch powers and it's all cool. And like
Yeah,
I
and
like
then they
Scarlet
have the
Witch.
whole like her meditating with the Darkhold, which is
Yeah.
like, ooh, sick.
And
Like
I
dun dun
I
dun.
I thought her meditating and doing like the training she was doing like how Doctor Strange did it. I thought that was gonna be like she's just becoming a full-fledged sorcerer or like witch now, and she's
Yeah.
gonna be the strongest witch. But I didn't think that immediately meant she was gonna be a bad guy. Because
See,
at the end of WandaVision, to be
yeah,
honest, they painted her as though she was a good guy again, and
yeah.
she never really was the bad guy. She was just emotionally trauma. She just had so much
Oh yeah,
trauma
yeah.
and so much emotional shit she had to work through. And so at the end of WandaVision it felt like she was the hero again. And so going into this, having her be the villain, I have no issue with Scarlet Witch, the character, being a villain because I love that villain. I
Same.
do kind of have an issue that there was like this sudden fall off from there to there that we don't get to see and we're just assuming it works
Yeah.
unless that is what WandaVision showed and I just
Well,
didn't pick up on it. But I feel like if we're gonna make an assumption that her studying over the Darkhold means she's the villain now, are you telling me you just set up a whole setup for her to be the main villain in an end credit scene? Because I don't believe that anything else in that finale demonstrates she's bad anymore.
so
That
if I
finale, in my opinion,
remember,
demonstrates she's good.
yeah, if I remember correctly, I want to say the reason why, well, she has the Darkhold now because of Agnes. And then the reason why she's studying it is because she wants to learn how, I think she wants to learn a way to get her boys back and have a life she wants, but through the means of not hurting people, which is why she learns how to dream walk.
Yeah,
Is so that she can embody herself, which isn't harming anybody else, and still be around her boys.
but then
But
she then starts
and
harming
then
others
yeah,
to
no,
get to her
exactly.
boys.
Which is why I say if they would have wrote it in the sense of like the Darkhold like consumed her and like
And they
made
kind of
her
say that's
bad.
why they say like the Darkhold corrupts you, and so
Yeah,
they kind of. But I feel like they needed to show us more than tell us. That's the thing. I feel like
yeah.
they needed to show an extra episode of her with the Darkhold in WandaVision, or show us
And not just
like
jump right into combat with her like when they go and they like meet in like the blossom like apple garden or whatever and like
the orchard.
everything's like beautiful and
As a Washingtonian, I'm offended that a fellow Washingtonian called that didn't call that an orchard. That's an orchard, my dude.
I'm yeah, but we don't know what it's for. So it could have
Okay.
just been a garden. It could have been a tree garden. That's not an orchard,
A
is
tree
it?
garden. I mean, I feel like a tree garden's still an okay. I have to Google the definition of an orchard now, but I'm fairly certain that's still an orchard. Continue.
Oh no, I'm looking it up now. You
A piece of land with fruit trees.
fruit trees. We don't know if they were fruit trees.
We
Boom, there
didn't
you
see
go.
any fruit.
Yep, they were just trees with flowers on them. So I will go back to say tree garden. Anywho, um, I I just like when they in that scene, it was like
Tree
it. I
garden.
I loved that scene because like sick, and then she was like, no, you give me the kid or you die, and then somehow Doctor Strange was tricked by an illusion, and everything around it was dead. Oh, you've been studying with the Darkhold because it kills everything it touches. Oh, okay. Instead of like the mystery of like maybe not have a scene where we just announce who the main villain is and then all of a sudden instead of them having a big face off in Taj Mahal or whatever it's called, Taj Mahal or whatever,
I
the
Taj Mahal.
temple, like
Yeah.
maybe instead of just a big battle, we have a scene where she creepily comes through the mirrors instead and tries to capture her instead of having this big grandioso battle that's just trying to demonstrate how powerful she is. We already know that she's fucking powerful. Like, if you're gonna make a scary movie that can't be rated R, make it as scary as possible. I don't know. I just felt like it was one of those movies again with me like talking about No Way Home and like the Spider-Man movies where it's just like I liked them, but like it just didn't make sense for the reasons they did anything. Like I just felt like it was like cool epic shots that are like visually pleasing and fight scenes.
Yeah. I I can agree. I definitely didn't like the fact that they showed her off as the villain right away. I feel like it took all the suspense. I think they could have like
Yeah.
done more of like I think it could have been like a we track down who the villain is and it's like we trace the magic back and we find her.
Yeah, because like I want to say like within the first half an hour we figured out
First
that
like
she
20 minutes easy.
well in the sense of her. Oh no, it was yeah, because we found out that she was sending the interdimensional demons or monsters or
Mhm.
whatever after her in the tree farm,
Yep.
tree garden. And yeah, dude, it was just like everything was handed to us and kind of like, and then don't even get me started on the stupid fucking magical book, okay? The the opposite of the Darkhold, the only thing that they were chasing after the entire movie, and
And
then it
then
gets
never
burnt
did
in 30
anything with
seconds.
and did nothing with it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
The
didn't
biggest
enjoy
cuckold
that.
ever. Cool,
I
thanks. Ah, ah.
yeah,
Visually, it was a beautiful movie.
yeah, I didn't enjoy the fact that they spent so much time doing that. I will say, okay, so now that we've talked about that part, the biggest part that I was disappointed about, I agree with you, is that. But what I did like about the movie is the multiverse. I enjoyed them going through and fleshing more of that out and showing more of that. I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed the fact that I liked the comic accurate Sir Patrick D- Doctor Sir Patrick Stewart, the uh
Professor.
Doctor X, Professor X, his wheelchair that
Yeah,
like
the yellow one.
yeah, the more comic accurate one. I enjoyed the fact that they had him. I really like the fact that I really love that Jim or John was Mr. Fantastic. I'm sad
Yeah,
he
same.
died. I hope they do a Fantastic Four and they have him as it because they could still do one with him. Like
Yeah,
they
I
could
mean
do one with him
yeah,
in a separate universe where he's the
yeah,
same, it's still Mr.
like
Fantastic.
a before Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness kind of thing.
They could do it before where it's in that universe, or they literally could just do a separate universe version
Exactly.
with the same
Yep.
like they don't need a story reason it doesn't have to be in that exact universe. They could easily
No.
do it in a different universe.
Yeah, but you see, like now with the audience knowing there's a multiverse, everything has to connect. Like
I don't think it
everything,
does.
yeah, everything has to be canon now. Like
Well, I mean,
you can have one-off movies, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like for the fan service that Disney feels like they need to give with every movie, it all has to connect now.
I think they'll try. I don't think
No,
they
no,
need
oh
to.
no. I think that they will try.
I think they'll try for sure because that's just Disney, but I don't think they need to. I think it would honestly be hurting themselves to make everything canon. I think part of the reason the multiverse is so awesome is you can do spin-off movies like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. I honestly hope that is Deadpool 3, or like they do a spin-off Deadpool movie.
I want a movie called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. That's one of my favorite
Oh,
comics.
I think that would be so cool. But we're
Because
getting
then
ahead of
that
ourselves.
also just gives us a whole
Oh yeah,
fresh restart in that. Oh, yes.
I want that so bad. That's a topic for another podcast.
That's facts.
So, but I will say I enjoyed the fact we got to see him. I enjoyed the aspect of looking at another universe going through similar events. I
Oh,
liked
dude.
how I will say I was annoyed that what's his name? Uh Baron Mordor or
Oh, the dude with the jumpy feet?
yeah, the dude who's was in Doctor Strange the first one
Yeah. Who,
and
like,
was
swears they're enemies now?
and became his enemy. That guy was set up to be the villain of this movie. And he was not the villain whatsoever. He was at most a slight hiccup in the road that was Doctor Strange winning saving the day. Like
Yeah.
that just made me so upset. Like I would have honestly kind of rathered him been the main villain of the movie and just had Wanda being like not the villain but
But
not
just
a
chasing?
hero, not a hero, but just like, hey, I have my own goals. They kind of fuck with what you're doing. They kind of fuck with what you're doing, but I'm doing my own thing, you know?
Yeah, and she can because she's the Scarlet Witch and she'll kill everybody, which she
But
does.
I didn't I feel like that was a wasted plot point for sure. Which kind of disappointed me, but I for the most part I really enjoyed it. I will say
What did you think about Third Eye Doctor Strange?
I am excited to see what they do with that. I don't like are you talking about at the end of the movie when he gets his third eye?
Oh no, okay, no, we're skipping ahead again.
Okay, are you
No,
talking about
that's
evil
fucking
Doctor
stupid.
Strange?
Yes, yes.
I thought that was cool. I will say best fight of the movie is that fight right there
I was
with
just
the
gonna say
music
that
notes.
with the music. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it had Fantasia vibes,
Oh,
and that's
dude.
the reason why when I was watching it, I was like, This is the best fight scene in Phase 4.
Oh yeah.
I have to say it. Like
So far in Phase 4. I
I
mean, we're at the
feel.
beginning of Phase 4, but so far.
Oh no, we're not in the beginning of Phase 4. We're like 55 hours into Phase 4.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Phase 4 started with Black Widow.
You look it up, sir.
Okay, if you count the TV shows too.
You have to count the TV shows.
That's
They're
fair.
canon.
That's fair. Okay, but you were
We're
saying.
we're very far into Phase 4 with no objective.
And I'm
Any
okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I'm not. I'm not. Not particularly. Um but the fight scene I really really enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was super creative. It was visually
I want to
very
know how
cool.
accurate all the notes were.
Um, just ask Charlie Puth. Um,
Okay. Let me call him really quick.
um, but I thought that was super cool. I will say one of my favorite parts of the movie is at the beginning of the movie when um he's at the wedding and the dude looks at him and he's like Doctor Strange. He's like yeah, and he's like I got dusted actually. He's like yeah, and he's like yeah, I lost my cat and stuff. And he's like was there no other
Oh
way?
yeah.
And then him be like nope, this was the only way. And I love that. I like the fact. Honestly, I kind of part of the reason why I love, and I know you hate this movie, but part of the reason I
I
love the
don't
second.
hate it. It's
No,
just
no, no, no,
bad.
no, no. I wasn't finished with what I was
Okay.
saying.
Go ahead.
I know you hate this movie, movie's title, Second Spider-Man: Far From Home, but
Oh,
part of the reason I love Far From Home is the reason I love that scene is it's a aftermath and an establishing and a talking about the snap. Like
yeah.
in WandaVision, they don't really discuss the snap whatsoever. I mean, yeah, what's her name? The main agent girl.
Yeah.
They show her coming back, but then like they pretty much get back to work and ignore the snap immediately, and she's in her own bubble, so Wanda never talks about the snap. Um, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's all about the snap, which I loved that. And then Loki, they're in their own multiverse shit, so they don't talk about the snap. Black Widow's a prequel, so they don't talk about the snap. And so there's a
No,
lot
they
of
have the
like
snap. They have the snap in that.
in Black Widow.
Yeah,
No,
they
Black
talk about
Widow.
it.
No,
No, they
Black
talk.
Widow. Black
They
Widow's a
talk
prequel. It's
about
before the
it.
snap happens in Black Widow.
Oh no, I'm
Black
thinking
Widow.
about Hawkeye. Sorry, because Yelena
Yes.
comes back from the snap.
Yes. And Hawkeye they talk about the snap. But I feel like I love when they address that, and I love the aftermath. That's my favorite part of Phase 4 right now, is like the aftermath of this like huge fucking event that happened and all the logistical shit that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And so him, that just such a small little nuance of a line of him being like, "Hey, was there any other way?" And him being like, "Fucker, if you think there was, I would have. If there was, I would have done something different."
Yeah, and then the whole
Like,
premise of the movie is a different Doctor Strange
yep.
dying for the cause essentially, and the
Mm-hmm.
world's far better.
Yep. And I
At least
also,
environmentally.
yeah, and I love the idea that this Doctor Strange's story, this whole movie, was the fact that he pretty much gave up him as a person for the sake of the world around him, and then it ends up using that justification of people, my love life and me as a person don't matter for everyone around me. That justification ends up becoming, I need more power to save people. I need more power. I have more power. I will be in control because I know best, which ends up
Yeah.
turning him into a villain. And which gets us to evil Doctor Strange, and all the other Doctor Stranges in like every other universe go evil because he thinks he knows how to do it right every time. Like
Yep.
he thinks he's always right and no one else can be, so he always ends up going bad for good. Like he's like the quintessential, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yes.
And I loved that this movie was him, our Doctor Strange, coming to terms with the fact that he can't always hold the knife. He can't always be in charge, that sometimes he has to work with a team. And also, it's okay to be human. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to feel those emotions. Like the whole time, like he's fighting his love for his love interest. I
Christine.
can't. Yeah,
You have to remember Rachel McAdams' name,
and
sir.
I don't remember.
That's rude. I'm
And
offended.
um, just the fact that he had to then like he kind of moves on, or like moves on in a healthy way. I don't think he'll ever not love her, but he moved on
Well,
for the
the
fact he
man
can't be with her. You know what I
the
mean?
man made the statement that he'll love her in every universe. I don't think he will ever get
He'll
over her.
no. He'll never not love her, but he can. But he has moved on,
Yes.
which I think is two very different things. And I love that, and I think he did it in a healthy way. And so for what this movie does that I think is bad, like we've discussed with kind of ruining the Scarlet Witch, and we didn't even mention America's Chavez for the last 30 minutes.
That's because we don't need
Um,
to. She's a useless character.
uh, I didn't really care for her character, and it's kind of cheesy that America, when she teleports to other
Uses a
worlds,
giant fucking star.
yeah, she
I
honestly
mean,
felt
that's
like
I think that's pretty comically accurate though.
I think you're right. Doesn't mean it's not cheesy as fuck.
Yeah.
um, Comics were cheesy as fuck. She just felt like one big plot device.
She was. That's all she
Um,
was. She
but
was there she was there so that Wanda could teleport and so that Doctor Strange could teleport. It's the
yeah,
only reason why she's a character.
but I liked Doctor Strange's story.
I did
I
too.
loved that whole just kind of him. He is always right, and everything is always justified, his actions in his mind, and he's never been proven wrong that what he does is wrong. The only time he has been is with his love life. But literally, he saved the whole world and universe because he made the right decision. And then he goes to another universe and realizes, oh shit,
There was another way.
and you guys did it much better than me. And wait, every version of me kind of sucks ass.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was right every time, but you're telling me I'm not?
Yeah. No,
I thought that was awesome.
yeah, I agree. I liked it in that aspect of his story and like what he went through. I liked. I just didn't like how they got there.
Well, kind of wrap this up because we're getting close to 40 minutes.
Yes, sir.
What would you rate this movie out of notables? 1 notable to 10 notable. What would you rate this?
Like a 7.
Hmm,
Like a
that's
six
not
and a
bad.
half.
That's not great, but not bad. I mean, considering there's a lot worse things out there. So
It yeah.
a
To
6.5 isn't bad.
summarize, yeah, yeah. I would say to summarize whole arcing feelings. I went into it more pumped to see Scarlet Witch and
Okay,
was big letdown. Made me very sad, which is
that
one
explains.
reason why I don't
Yeah,
like it.
no, that makes
But
sense.
at the same time, I did like it because visually it was really pretty.
Oh yeah.
But it falls under the not as bad as Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy, but like I did feel like there were so many punchlines in this with like Doctor Strange being quirky and like making
Hmm.
his like sarcastic jokes, which you'd think I would love, but I hate it. Um and not only that, but Wong, can we I'm just going to go on a little small side
You
rabbit
go
trail
on.
tangent. Wong, that movie should have been called
Juan is
um
always right.
yeah, like maybe listen to Sorcerer Supreme. Like
I love that dynamic. How he is Sorcerer Supreme because because Strange
and
got snapped.
nobody listens to him. I mean, no,
Mhm.
I mean everybody listened to him but
Except
Strange, which is the
everyone
only
who
person
has
that
the power.
matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strange has
And
honestly been the person that's caused the most issues in the past 2 movies.
no,
Spider-Man
exactly.
and this.
I mean, that's debatable. Spider-Man ruined
Let's
Spider-Man's movie
okay, yes, yeah. I mean, look,
with
Spider-Man,
interrupting the spell. He
but yeah,
ruined his own
he
movie.
interrupted the spell, but
I
Doctor
mean,
Strange, the wise sorcerer, should have known better than to let
yeah, man
an
should have just been like, "Shut up."
an undeveloped brain, not even 20,
Stand in the
a
circle.
child, be in the same room while he casts a spell. On top of casting the spell to rewrite time
Yeah.
for a dude who just wants to go to college.
I saw
Bruh,
I
fuck
saw
off. You're
this,
a superhero. Get over it. Doctor Strange should have had the wisdom not to do that, dude. I love that movie. I love.
but yeah, that's where it
He
all falls
should have.
apart.
He should have known
In the
better, though.
first half an hour, that's where
Okay,
it all
we're not here to
falls
break
apart.
down that movie. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry at you, Eric. We're not here to talk about that movie.
It's because I'm right.
Get on with your point. Get on with your one. Get on with your one discussion.
No, okay, so it's just a small little funny that I saw. Is if have you seen How It Should Have Ended? Like the YouTube
I have.
channel.
Yes.
Okay, so they did Doctor Strange,
Oh, I have
and
not seen that.
it's so funny. At one point, it like the very last scene of it is just him doing the circle thing, like what he did in No Way Home. And Wong walks in the room. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm just making everybody forget about the Darkhold." And it's like, boom, there's the movie. There it is, right there, done.
I, I will say, I think my favorite way any Marvel movie's been resolved has to still be Doctor Strange 1, which
Oh yeah, the
Dormammu, I
time,
come to bargain.
yeah, the
Dormammu,
time
I've come.
paradox.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so clever. It's so smart. And with a fucking plethora of 20 plus movies of I beat my villain into submission
yeah,
is how they solve everything 9 times out of 10. I enjoy the fact that someone used their brain for the first time
Yeah, and trapped themselves and just annoyed the fuck
out of this
out of
ultimate
an
power being.
out of an eternal being who can't die. He's just like, oh my god, yes, I'll make a bargain. Get the fuck out of my realm, dude. I hate you.
He's like, I'm over
I'll
this.
go home.
He's like, I'll take over another planet. I don't need Earth.
Yeah, I don't need this place. I will
Oh,
say though, um, the way I did like this movie. It's just I'm I'm a hater for things that make no sense. So like when things make no sense, it makes me go, why would you make it?
yeah,
And this movie brought a lot of those things into my brain of just like, I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're trying to appease this to a child, which I understand that they kind of are, but it's also like supposed to be, you know, their first go at a PG-13 rated R kind of movie. So like you would think there'd be more brain power behind it kind of.
I will
But
say that the
I'll give it a
dynamic
7. I'll
a
give it a
seven.
7. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was
No,
just
no, no.
gonna
You're
say
good.
I do agree though. I feel like the dynamic of America and like the dynamic of like the of Wanda, because Wanda was definitely where most of like the edginess of this movie, like the dark
Oh,
horror
she
part.
she was edgelord of this
But, like
movie.
I feel like it was a little like oil and water at time, just because America, not because America's a bad character, but because she is not a
She's just
like
not a character.
she's a very like joy fuel, and they use her for comedic they use her for a lot of jokes. Like, yes, her parents died, and it is sad that she pretty much killed her parents or trapped them in another universe, but also I find hard to be sad for a character when you barely spend any time on developing her.
Exactly.
So most of her interactions are kind of comedical or just like other characters trying to tell her to do better. And so like it kind of felt weird in place of the way the rest of the movie felt. Like the rest
Yeah.
of the movie I feel like had this dark tone like every other thing did, and she didn't. But I'll say like I hope that they do like a Scarlet Witch movie that's rated R. I think that would be so cool. Like maybe a spin-off. I know that Mrs. Olsen is not signed for another movie. This was her
Yeah,
last
but
one on her
that could
contract, but that doesn't mean
easily be
anything.
changed. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Easily be changed.
I would say I rank this movie a 7, maybe a 7.5. I think the only reason why I would ever rate this a 7.5 is for the fact that it pushes the boundaries of what Disney's willing to do
Yeah.
with movies with
Yeah.
Marvel, and that excites me. That plus Moon Knight pushed the boundaries.
Mm.
That
Mhm.
makes me hope that they do like a section of Marvel stuff that's rated R. Like I hope this is them testing the waters, and I hope they start to do more adult Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
and I hope Deadpool is what leads that wave. And if that's the case, then this movie will always hold a special spot as being like the first dark Marvel movie, you know? And so I think that's where that extra point 0.5 might come in. It's just because I really like what it does for the universe and sets a tone. Outside of that, there's a lot about this movie I really liked. There's a lot about this movie that kind of annoyed me. I don't think I hate it as much as you do, but
I don't hate it. I just hate inconsistencies of what
I
people think
yeah,
makes sense. That's what I don't like about movies nowadays.
I can agree with you there.
It's just
Um,
like it all makes sense for this reason.
it
Does it?
doesn't though.
Does it?
Yeah, and that's why it caps out at a 7.5 at most. Probably, if I were to be honest, probably a 7. I like it like it's a 7.5, but probably a 7 is where I would note it. Well, thank you for listening to the Noted Podcast. I have been your host, Daniel, and your other host, Eric. It's him, not me. I said that like it was me. Please like and subscribe. Please
What are you
share.
talking about, Daniel?
Please
We'll
follow
Moon
us.
Knight it.
Well, oh, da 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 da. Yeah,
We're
like,
actually the same person.
subscribe, share. follow, all that good jazz. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube at the Noted Podcast, or at a Noted Podcast. Thank you and goodbye.
Little do you know, Daniel was air humping.
I was doing like a little dance in my chair. Okay.
I believe it. I equate that to the same thing though.
Okay. No.